Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dandy Lynn and this is Dandy's Weird Little Corner. Today we're going to be working on more shrink plastic keychains. And these are some sketches that I did before filming. And we're going to trace them out on the shrink plastic. Let me get some out. I should have done that. So I'm gonna trace them with a white colored pencil, and then I'm going to color them in with these acrylic markers. So I'm gonna kind of speed up the video so you don't have to watch me do all of that, but yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so now that these are outlined in a generic color, we're gonna go in with these acrylic markers and just kind of design with the color, and then at the very end we're going to outline everything with black so it pops more and looks more stark and kind of contrasted. But yeah, so I'm gonna time lapse that. Okay, so these are all shrunk down, and we are ready to kind of put the UV resin sealant over it, which is the final step before adding the keychains. So I'm just gonna test all the little like slots that I made for the jump rings to make sure that they actually fit through and everything's fine. Because when it shrinks down, the proportions look a little different. So I'm just gonna do that really quick. This one is struggling a little bit, but yeah, we got through. I think those were the only ones I had that were questionable. Maybe this one. Yeah, okay. So basically, I'm going to set that aside. What I'm going to do next is use some UV resin. I have a little cure, like a UV nail light. It's about 90 seconds. Usually I do 2 passes of it, so for around 3 minutes to make sure it's not tacky to the touch when it's done. You can apply this with a toothpick with a silicone applicator, which is what I would recommend because UV resin does not stick to silicone in the same way that it sticks to other things. But for me, I have this brush that is already kind of like a designated glue or silicone, or not silicone, UV resin brush, which kind of has lost its brushiness. I also use the back end of it for spreading things that I don't want to have a texture on them. So this is what I'm going to use, but I would recommend using a silicone applicator. So The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure to avoid the actual thing. So I'm going to angle it down a little bit, and then you're going to want to pour it a little bit higher than you think. So it's thinner. The stream is thinner because you'll get more air bubbles out of it that way. And then you just kind of spread it around. Also, I would recommend wearing gloves. I never do because I, can't be bothered really, but it's better to wear gloves. I just make sure I'm really not touching any of the product because it's not something that you want on your skin. So what I'm doing right now is just, there's a little fuzz. What I'm doing right now is I'm spreading it, but I'm not touching, like I'm not scraping it against it because of the acrylic. Like the acrylic color will come off if you scrape it. So just do your best to kind of glide over top of it, but not like put a lot of pressure. And you can always do a second coat if you miss a spot, but I'm gonna pick this up and see where we're at. Looks pretty good. I feel like there's a spot missing here. I can bring it out to the edge a little more. All right, I like that. So I'm going to put it underneath the thing. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna do the rest of them, but I'm gonna speed it up from here. So stay tuned. Okay, so we are on the last step, which is really simple. After you've cured the resin and after they're all shiny and fun, they look really nice. I'm happy with how they turned out. So we're just gonna put the jump ring through. Grab your keychain, feed the end of that through the jump ring, and then kind of let both hang down so the jump ring is the tallest part of it. And then take some pliers and squish them together. So you're gonna try to get them as close together as possible. Okay, that looks good to me. Oops. And then there is your first keychain. So I'm gonna do the rest of these and then that'll be it. So I actually ended up putting the 3 mushroom keychains together. I think it looks cuter with them together. But everything else turned out really good. I'm happy with it. There was a few bubbles in the resin, but it's not something that I'm super worried about. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And here is the finished product.